I always think that elections, regardless of the outcome, tell a very interesting story for what people are thinking, what people are feeling.
A report card.
Yeah, it's like the after-election report is just as interesting as the reporting leading up to it. But I think next Tuesday is going to be fascinating.
For a man who has spent decades telling America everyone else's business, Bill Hemmer has kept his own love life locked up tighter than a sealed newsroom file. As one of cable news' most recognizable anchors, he's become a steady presence through elections, national crises, and breaking headlines. Yet one part of his story has always remained frustratingly out of reach. Viewers have long wondered why a successful, polished, high-profile broadcaster never married, especially in an industry where personal lives so often become part of the show. That curiosity has only grown with time because the less Hemmer says, the more people want to know. And since everyone has a theory on this kind of thing, drop a comment and tell us what matters more in a life like his: privacy, timing, or career. After 30 years in the spotlight, Bill Hemmer finally seems to make clear why he never married. The Public Bachelor.
As I kept doing it, no one ever said no. And I would do that, and then I'd go on to my other job till midnight, and then go home to get up and do it all over again.
For a long time, Bill Hemmer has occupied a strange place in television fame. He's extremely visible, but not especially revealing. Audiences have watched him through years at CNN, then his long run at Fox News, yet his off-camera life has remained unusually guarded for someone on national television almost every weekday. That has made the basic facts stand out even more. He's never married, and he does not have children. In an age when even minor celebrity relationships can become constant tabloid material, Hemmer has managed to keep most of his personal life in a very tight circle. Part of the fascination comes from contrast. On air, he's polished, direct, and comfortable guiding viewers through chaotic news cycles. Off air, there's very little of the confessional style that has become common in modern media. He does not appear to use social media as a running diary, and he rarely offers much that invites the public into his private world. That pattern matters because it shapes the answer. For Bill Hemmer, the story is not that marriage somehow slipped away in dramatic fashion. It's that he built a public career while consistently drawing a line around what he would and would not share. The longer he did that, the more his unmarried status became part of the intrigue. Dara Years.
I'm just, well...
Nervous?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, it's funny because I don't care.
She likes me.
The one relationship that became public in a serious and lasting way was with Canadian model Dara Tomanovich. Their romance reportedly began in 2005, and for years she was the person most closely associated with Hemmer's personal life. They were seen together at major events and red carpets, which was enough to show this was not some passing rumor. That relationship lasted roughly 8 years, making it by far the most significant one linked to him in public. In celebrity terms, 8 years is a long stretch. It was not a brief fling inflated by gossip columns. It was a real, substantial relationship that unfolded over a major chapter of his life. Tomanovich had her own public profile. She had built a modeling career with high-end fashion connections and major campaigns. So this was not a case of an unknown figure suddenly pulled into the spotlight. When they appeared together, they looked like a polished, high-profile couple who could easily have taken the next step if that had been the direction they wanted. But that next step never came. The relationship ended around 2013 or 2014, depending on the account, and that fact is important. If viewers assumed Hemmer simply had never found a serious partner, Dara's presence disproves that. He did. What their long relationship suggests is that the missing ingredient was not romance itself, but the choice to turn that romance into marriage. Rumor machine.
All right. So listen, day 2's in the books. How'd you feel about today?
I'll ask you first. There's still some glitches that we're working on. That's fun. Everybody's with us along the way.
Yeah, I mean, to our viewers, we're trying to use certain muscles and try and figure it out how to. It's like doing a dance in tandem with everybody around us. But I'm.
Amazing.
What do you think?
It's a jam-packed 3 hours, huge news week, so much happening, and a beautiful new home. So I have nothing to complain about.
So we have
and a great co-host.
We have some right on, likewise, and we have some swings and some misses. But we'll be back tomorrow, right?
Once a public figure remains unmarried long enough, the rumor mill starts doing what it always does. Hemmer has been linked over the years to several women, especially those in or around media circles. Some of that came from simple proximity. Put two attractive television personalities next to each other long enough, and people start writing a storyline for them. Sandra Smith became part of that pattern because of strong on-air chemistry. Dana Perino did too, for much the same reason. Megyn Kelly was also tossed into the conversation during their years at Fox. In each case, the speculation said more about audience curiosity than it did about confirmed relationships. Marla Maples entered the gossip orbit after the two were photographed sitting near each other at New York Fashion Week in 2019. That single public sighting was enough to spark chatter because celebrity culture loves to turn seating arrangements into romance narratives. Still, nothing solid appears to have followed from it. Taken together, these episodes reveal something useful. There's never been a steady public trail of serious romances after Dara. Instead, there's mostly been speculation built from appearances, workplace chemistry, and social events. That usually happens when a person is visible enough to attract interest, but private enough that people fill in the blanks themselves. Career first.
I'm feeling a little bit on the spot here as the only one with alcohol in my glass, but hey, you know what? The man has a big day ahead of him, and I'm just going to take some sips, so we'll be okay.
Great to be here with you. What an awesome place we are here now.
Oh.
Another major piece of the puzzle is Hemmer's work life. He's not just a familiar face on television. He's built a long, demanding career in high-pressure news, first at CNN and then at Fox News, where he became one of the network's established anchors. Live news is not the sort of profession that shuts off neatly at the end of the day. The hours can be brutal, the rhythm can change overnight, and major events can consume weeks at a time. Elections, wars, national emergencies, and breaking stories do not care about personal schedules. For someone who's spent decades in that environment, the job can become more than employment. It can become the central structure of life. That does not mean career automatically prevents marriage. Plenty of people in media do marry, but it can affect how a person organizes priorities, protects time, and defines personal freedom. Hemmer's life appears to reflect that kind of arrangement. He seems to have created a routine that gives enormous space to work and very limited access to the rest of himself. That may be the clearest answer anyone is likely to get. Not a scandal, not a shocking hidden reason, and not some grand confession. Just the steady reality of a man who kept his private life private, committed heavily to career, and never seemed eager to force marriage into a life that was already set on its own terms. Why he never married.
Across the media landscape, it seemed as if everyone was reporting the same story the same way.
And Fox came along and took that same story and flipped it 180 degrees.
When folks ask why Bill Hemmer never married, they often expect a twist. They expect heartbreak, a secret, or dramatic turning point. But the available picture points to something less flashy and more believable. He had at least one long, serious relationship. He had opportunities. He simply never turned those into a marriage. There's also the matter of temperament. Some people genuinely do not want to live publicly through a spouse and kids storyline, especially when fame already invites enough scrutiny. Hemmer's pattern suggests someone who values control over his personal boundaries. Marriage, especially for a television figure, can bring a new level of attention he may never have wanted. His silence may be part of the answer too. By refusing to feed endless curiosity, he kept the story from becoming bigger than it had to be. That approach can look mysterious from the outside, but from his perspective, it may have been practical. The less he gave away, the less the public could distort. So, after all these years, the reason he never married seems less like a hidden revelation and more like a consistent life choice. Bill Hemmer appears to have valued privacy, independence, and a career-centered routine more than the public expectations attached to marriage. And that choice has defined his personal story for decades. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Bill Hemmer stayed unmarried mainly because he's deeply private, because his career came first, or because the right timing never quite arrived? Let us know in the comments section below.